Siobhan Sweet and welcome back to my kitchen. So today I'm going to show you how to make puff pastry. So there's so many things you can make from puff pastry. You can make cream horns, jam turnovers, Eccles cakes, tartatan, pie lids and sausage rolls, which I'll be showing you at the end of this how to make sausage rolls. So we're going to start with 240 grams of strong flour. Now it's important to use strong flour because we need the gluten content when it stretches. We've got 120 grams of water. Now I weigh my water because it's such a small amount. To do it in a jug you wouldn't quite be accurate, so I always weigh that. 30 grams of butter and a couple of drops, literally just a couple of drops of lemon juice, and that's going to give it that elasticity. So I'm going to put all that into the bowl. I'm going to mix that around for 5 minutes to a nice dough, and then we've got 180 grams of butter, and I'm going to show you what to do with that in a bit. So that's done now, and what we're looking for is quite a tighter dough than normal for like sweet pastry. It still needs to have a little bit of elastic to it, but it's slightly tighter. And I'm going to leave that to rest now. I'm going to show you how we prepare the butter. So you need an A4 sheet of paper and some silicone paper. So we're going to take an A4 piece of paper and fold it in half. And then we've got a piece of greaseproof paper here, silicone paper, and we're going to fold that over. Once that's done, take the paper out. Fold it back up again. And turn it over. We're going to use that as a template for our butter, so just keep rolling until it fills the square. Now that's the same size as your piece of paper. And we're going to pop that in the fridge for 10 minutes just to set firm. So now your dough is rested for 10 minutes, we're going to take that out and we're going to use the template we had before, the A4 piece of paper folded in half, and we're going to roll it. So we're just going to roll it longer. So when you roll, you just want a light bit of flour, not too much flour, just enough so it doesn't stick. And we're going to use the rolling pin to square the edges off as we roll. Don't forget as you go to just pull out these corners just to keep them square. So just give them a light pull at the sides. Using your template as a guide, just to make sure you don't go too wide and you want to go longer. So once you're happy with the pastry, you're just going to turn it sideways, and then we're going to add the butter. Add your butter. So I always do a quick check with a piece of paper, and what we're looking for is when we fold that over, it's going to go to a third, and we're going to fold that over. So that's just the right size, and then we get the butter out. Leave the butter in the fridge till the very last moment. You're going to quickly unwrap the butter. And you're going to place that on top there. Just make sure it's square and then peel back the paper. Now you need to be quite quick with that, and that's ready. So we're going to fold over this one here, still making sure that the edges and the corners are nice and square, and then we're going to fold this back over. Now that's the fat in. We haven't given any turns yet. All we've done is added the fat into that. And now we're going to give it its first buck turn. So when we work with pastry, we always give it what's called a quarter turn. Okay, so we turn it after we put the butter in. So the seam, and that's what I call the seam. If you look at that side and that side. So the seam is always at the top of your table when you're working, and that way you'll naturally give it a quarter turn. So we're going to roll it out to exactly the same size as we did before. Using your piece of paper as a template, you're just going to go that fraction bigger. So once that's rolled out, it's the same size as your paper, just a bit bigger, and we're going to give it its first book turn. So a book turn is where we put the two together in the centre. Now just watch these edges here. It's really important to get them to join and make sure that these edges are square. If they're not, you're going to lose layers in your puff pastries. That's really important. Dust off any excess flour, and then you're going to fold that over again. Then we're going to rest that in the fridge for 30 minutes. And I always put a thumbprint in it, because that tells me it's had one turn. I'm going to wrap that up in paper and leave that for 30 minutes. So that's been in the fridge for 30 minutes, and we're just going to turn that now. Remember, there's the seam, so the seam always goes at the top of the table, and then we're going to roll that out so exactly the same size and give it the same turn. That's going to go back in the fridge now for another 30 minutes. So our pastry's ready for its final third turn. So that pastry is ready now. It needs to go in the fridge for another 30 minutes, and then it's ready to roll. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how to make apple and pork sausage rolls. They're absolutely gorgeous. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like the video, thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much. Bye.